Hey guys, we're back with game 2 of the 3-game Coastal Carnage practice tournament. I'll be taking on Ogres. And this scenario is going to be Blood and Glory. It's going to be like the standard variant where if you break your opponent first, you get 600 victory points. If you break them second, you get 300 victory points. And there's also going to be 3 Blood Forests on the table. If you control the Blood Forest in the game, you get 1 extra battle point. You don't need to have Fortitude in the forest to control it. You also get 2 battle points if you break your opponent. So, basically, you don't lose the game by getting broken. And the forest are little things that hopefully you can mop up and try to get extra battle points at the end of the game with controlling. I'll have a little quick run through of my army. Again, since he's going to have Iron Blaster, I'm glad he's not going to have 2 Iron Blasters, but even with 1, I have to keep my Wyvern behind the Trolls again. And this would be game 2 so far, both games, where I'm having to worry about cannons. And, everybody says that nobody has cannons. Why are you worried about them? Well, everybody has cannons. That's why you worry about them. And now we'll take a look at my opponent's Ogre army. He's going to have the standard Slaughtermaster, but he's also going to have a Fire Belly instead of like a second Butcher. He's only going to have 6 Iron Guts, but he's going to have a real big unit of Bulls. But having less Iron Guts is good. The main thing is that you get the big unit of Man-Eaters, and I think that's the scary thing in the list. With the comp, he's not able to have 2 Iron Blasters, but I think that's probably why he takes the Stonehorn. Here's a look at the deployment, and sometimes you think you maybe should castle up for a situation like this, but I really think over 6 turns this Iron Blaster can kill a lot more of my stuff than my Spirit Chuckers can. But he can win just by shooting his Iron Blaster, so I really no point for me being too passive, so I deploy up, and I hope that I can try to take his stuff on, even though it's going to be real scary with 3 big Ogre blocks and a monster there. And so these are my vanguards, and my big hope is that with 3 Wolf Rider units, I can try to chaff them up enough that I can get the charges that I want. And so basically that's what I'm really hoping to do. And so Ogres win the first turn, and he's going to charge his Saber-Tusk that's on the far right, my Wolf Riders, and I really wasn't worried about that. I thought my Wolf Riders could hold it off. He's not going to move much else other than that. He passes his Frenzy test with his Stonehorn, I think that is. When we go into Magic, I'm going to dispel what he's trying to do. He's trying to put fire spells on my Trolls. But in shooting, he's going to, I think he'll maybe 1 Troll. I think he's able to get 1 Troll with this Iron Blaster, but not much else. But the bad thing is going to be, that's one Saber-Tusk he is going to win combat against my Wolves by 1. I'm going to break and flee to 1 Saber-Tusk, which is what you see here, 1 Saber-Tusk. I do 1 wound to the Saber-Tusk. It does 1 wound to me, but it's going to get the extra point by charging, so that's just crazy. So Orcs and Goblins turn 1, I passed my animosity test this turn, which is like a small miracle. I'm going to go ahead and charge the Saber-Tusk he has in the woods with my Trolls. I know he's trying to draw me in to charge me, but I actually, figure 18 Trolls can take on a couple of those Ogre blocks. The main thing I'm going to need to do here is chaff up some of his stuff so that all his Ogres can't charge my Trolls at once. So I have to march the Wolves on the left here to block off that Stonehorn. I have to take dangerous terrain test. I failed 2 of them, but I passed my panic test, so I'm very lucky. So I'm going to have that Stonehorn chaffed up, and I put my other Wolf Riders in front of his Bulls and Iron Guts to chaff them up, so only his Man-Eaters can charge my Trolls in his turn. I'm going to go into combat. I killed the Saber-Tusk, and I don't overrun. But with Magic and shooting, I get Irresistible off on Foot of Gork, but I only kill, I think, 1 Iron Gut, maybe. And my miscast gives me a wound. Going and shooting is really ineffectual. I mean, Doomdive really has nothing to shoot at. I do get 1 hit on his Stonehorn with a Spirit Chuck, and I only manage to do 1 wound, though. So we're going to go to Ogre turn 2. He's going to charge his Man-Eaters at my Trolls that I'm going to hold here. his other 2 ogre blocks there are going to charge those wolf riders that were chaffing him up. Actually, only his iron guts are going to try charge them, not the bulls. His stone horn is going to charge my other wolves. And then he's going to move the fire belly out of the bulls instead, and move it in front of my savage orcs. And I'd forgotten it had a breath weapon, but it was, so I thought he was just doing that to keep me from charging because my overrun would present a flank. But it's going to be for the breath weapon, and I also forget that you can march and shoot breath weapons. So he's going to kill 8 of my savage orcs with that breath weapon, and so he's really hurt those savage orcs, so they're a lot less effective now. And then his magic, I have to let go a spell that gives his man-eaters +1 toughness, because I've got to try to stop the bubble regen. I'm able to do that. And then when we go to the combats here, he's also, when he gets that toughness spell, it moves the blood forest. It kills one of his man-eaters and only does like 1 wound to my only does 1 wound to my my trolls. I'm able to make my other regen saves, so it doesn't kill any trolls. But then we go into the combat. I kill, I think, 1 more man-eater. I don't know what damage he does to me. I think I actually win, but he passes his break test. And then he destroys both my Wolf Rider units, and he has to overrun with his Stonehorn. And also in shooting his cannon, it's also going to kill a Mangler, which is going to panic the chariot that I was going to have to charge into the fire belly on my turn and get the fire belly out of the way. So now I'm faced with a tough choice whether trying to make sure my trolls are okay by charging my Wyvern in there, or charging his fire belly. So going into Orc and Goblin turn 2, I am going to decide that I'm not going to charge my Wyvern at the fire belly, because then I'm just going to be presenting myself to his 2 big units of ogres, or to a cannon shot. I don't charge my savages in there, because I only need a little bit of an overrun to have my get flanked by his iron guts. I also decide not to charge my Wyvern at his Stonehorn. I figure I might be able to win that combat, but if somehow I don't kill that Stonehorn and he just attacks my Wyvern with everything, he could kill my Wyvern and then Thunder Stomp on my general, which I don't like the idea of. So instead I just charge it into the man-eaters, because I figured that's what I needed to do. Hopefully I can take care of those man-eaters. Going into magic, I get a headbutt on his fire belly, I think, but I failed to wound. When we go into shooting, though, I do get a spear chucker to hit and wound his fire belly, and I do the 3 wounds, but he has 1 wound left, so that doesn't kill it, doesn't help me there. When we go into the big combat, I'm going to just tear into those man-eaters. I'm going to beat them down to 1 guy. He's going to break, and I'm going to choose not to pursue, because I know that I'm going to be presenting flanks to his ogres again by pursuing to try to get that 1 guy. I figure he's going to have to only rally on double 1, so hopefully it'll be gone. I want to reform, but like every way I'm trying to reform, he's saying I can't do it. So I just decide not to worry about it, and I just stay the way I am, because there's no point. It seemed like every way I wanted to reform was not able to do it. And so Ogre turn 3, and as you can see in this picture, he gets the double charge off on my savages. They were pretty much pinned in place, and what's going to make it worse, I figured he couldn't make charges with both, because he needed like a 9, I think, with the bulls, and like an 8 with the regular iron gut. So you figure he's not going to make both of them, but he rolls like a 10 and 11. So not only does he make both charges, but he gets the D3 impact hits for both. And then to add insult to injury, in magic, he's going to get the bubble regen off of irresistible force. It's going to really do nothing to him. So he's going to also have regen. So these savages are toast. Then in shooting, he's going to kill my Wyvern. I get Charm Shield to deflect a shot on my general. But he does 6 wounds to my Wyvern and kills it, so I don't have that anymore. And then in combat with the impact hits and all these attacks, I kill 1 bull, and I do like 1 wound to an iron gut and 1 wound to a slaughtermaster, and he kills probably 15 or so savage orcs. I break. I passed my panic test, but you know, he can overrun into my bunker, and the game is almost over it right now. So basically, this is actually going to be the end of Ogre turn 4. On my turn, all I do is reform my trolls and put my general into the troll unit. I didn't have enough movement to get him behind the troll unit. I really had nothing else to do. He comes in and destroys my bunker, and then overruns. And then in his turn, he's going to reform his 2 units. He's going to get +1 toughness and +1 strength to his bulls, and then we're going to go into his shooting. And as you can see, in shooting, he's going to kill my general because I'm not going to get a lookout, sir. I'm going to fail my ward, and his cannon's going to kill my general. So then I want to call the game now. As it is, I tell he's got 1 woods with his stonehorn. I've got a spear chuck in other woods, and I figure there's no way he can get my spear chuck out of the woods. And I say, you can if you want to just go through the motions and take the woods in the center, you can. I don't care. I can't win. He's insisting that he could take the woods with my spear chucker, and he went through the motions to try to do it. And I just said, I can just move my chariot here to end. I won't get the point, but you won't get the point either. I mean, it's up to you. And so he just gives me the point, and so it's going to be a terrible loss for the orcs. So yes, this is a pretty big victory for the ogres. I'm going to lose 14-1, and I really didn't think he can make both the charges with his all my savages, but if you're going to roll more than 10 for both and get a bubble regen, then the savages are pretty much be toast. Also, that cannon, it just destroyed me. That's another thing you don't think is going to, with 1 shot, kill off your monster, but like everybody says, it only takes 1 shot to kill your monster, because that seems like that's the way it always is. And then he just picks it off in the next turn. And so yeah, when we were going through the motions to see what it was, I do wind up, if I had another turn, I would have passed my stupidity test for my trolls, but my trolls couldn't kill anything by themselves then, because I couldn't take on his iron guts with his characters and his souped up bulls. So all I really would have done was just slid over and took those woods. And so that's why I say, let me concede, because I just give me the 1 point with my spear chucker, because I wasn't going to be able to take anything on. And the only way I could win that game at that point was to take on his iron guts that has characters and breaking them and try to do something. I think even then, I don't think I could have won the game. So yeah, I'm not sure what else I could have done in this game. I don't know if I should just sat back completely, because I really think that the 1 Iron Blaster is still better than my Spear Chuckers, and I don't think my Doom Diver had any targets worth worrying about. My Spear Chuckers do kill 1 Sabertusk during the game, so they had something happen good for them. But yeah, this was a quick one. My last game is going to be against demons. I hope you guys enjoyed this, and I'll talk to you next time.